Okay, now, in this first training, we are going to talk about the 5 climate issues: the climate change, the air pollution, the land degradation, the global biodiversity loss, and the marine pollution. At the end of this theoretical part, I'm going to give you some questions to guide you in the research about one specific case, a specific problem, environmental problem. Okay, so um, at the end of the training, I will make rooms, I will make groups here in Zoom with the 5 environmental problems, or there will be 5 groups, and you will have to choose which room or which group you want to go. And afterwards, you should choose with your group which specific case you want to do the research on. For example, if you have chosen the climate change, you can talk about, you can do the research about the droughts in Somalia, or about the Pacific Islands. Sorry, I can attend the meeting because I'm still at the university. Have a nice meeting. Okay, thank you. Have a nice afternoon. Bye. Okay. Welcome the new people. Okay, so bye. Okay, so then you have to choose with your group, with your partners, with a specific case you want to do the research on. As I was saying, if you choose the climate change, for example, you can do the research on the droughts in Somalia, or maybe, I don't know, the sea level rise in these Pacific island, you know, such as Tuvalu, Vanuatu. You have a lot of things to choose. So you have any question about this? And you will have like 15 or 10 minutes to agree with your partners which specific case you want to do the research on. And during this weekend till the next training, you have to answer these questions and search some information about this specific issue. And in the training 4, in the first part, in the first hour, you will have to share with your partner, with your group, the answers of the questions, okay, and the information find it. If anyone has some questions or doubts, please let me know. If not, we can continue with the training. Okay. So, what are the global environmental problems? The first environmental problem issue that we are going to talk about, it is the climate change. Okay, so climate change is one of the most important issues of our time, as you know, affecting all regions of the world, and it is actually a reality and a challenge for global politics in the 21st century. Okay, so the climate change has negative impacts on human rights. We are going to talk about this later. And the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change defines climate change as a change directly or indirectly attributed to human activity that alters the composition. Well, someone wants to say anything? I don't think so, but I think that Someone has the microphone on.
A ver, cada chico conoce de qué lo conoce, que conoce otro acuerdo.
Álvaro, I think that you
Eso
have the microphone
directamente
on.
me busco. A ver si me busco otro que me quede bastante.
Okay, so let's continue. Okay, attempts directly or indirectly attribute to human activity that alters the composition of the global atmosphere and in which is, in addition to natural climate variability, observed over comparable periods. So, in other words, the climate change refers to long-term changes in temperatures and weather patterns. Okay, so some relevant information about the climate change. These changes in the climate can occur naturally, for example, caused by variations in the solar cycle. Okay, in the solar cycle, but since the 19th century, climate change has been caused by the human activity, as you know, especially through the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, or gas. Okay, so the burning of these fossil fuels, the use of these fossil fuels generates the well-known greenhouse gas emissions. And these gases wrap around the Earth like a blanket, trapping the heat, the energy generated by the sun, and in this way raising the Earth's temperatures. Examples of greenhouse gas emissions could be the carbon dioxide or the methane. And these are produced, for example, by the use of petrol or gasoline for driving, or the use of coal to generate heat in a building or in homes. Okay. So, okay, similarly, the deforestation also generates carbon dioxide. For example, the landfill sites emits large quantities of methane. So in short, the energy, the industry, the buildings, the agriculture, the land use are all these things that emits a lot of greenhouse gases. Okay, so just 30 years ago, only the science were talking about the climate change, but today all we are suffering the negative impacts of the climate change, and we all talk about this issue. So we know that climate change is having a drastically change in our ecosystems. In this regard, the United Nations estimates that temperatures have been rising by at least 1 degree in the last 130 years. Specifically, the Earth's temperatures is now 1.1 degree warmer than it was in the 19th century. And the last decade, the decade to 2010 was the warmest on record. Okay, this number, the number of 1.1 degree, may seem small, but it is already a great threat to the planet and to all human beings. And we also remember that this figure is a global average. So in some areas are warming much faster, for example, in the Arctic. Also in this regard, the World Meteorological Organization estimates that there is a 50% probability that the annual average temperature will reach 1.5 degrees in the coming years. And this 1.5 degree is not a random figure because if we
Έτσι, mi amigo, ο φίλος μου, του compañeros μαθητής σου, σου padre, ο πατέρας του ή ο πατέρας της.
Someone has the microphone on. I think, okay, thank you so much. Okay, so the 1.5 degree is not a random figure, as you know, because if we reach that number, then a negative consequence will be highly damaging for human beings and for the earth. Okay, so according to the last United Nations reports and thousands of science, yes, 1,000 of scientists, sorry, limited global temperature rise to no more 1.5 degree is the safe limit to avoid dangerous climate change impacts for humans. However, it is estimated that by the end of the 21st century, there will be a 2.8 degrees increase. Okay, guys, as I said also in the last training, it is important to remember that while climate change comes from all parts of the world and affects all people, the reality is that some people, some societies, some countries contribute much more to climate change than others. So, all people have must to take action to tackle the climate change, but these countries that contribute most to climate change have the responsibility to act first. Okay, also it is worth remembering that in the last 17 years, we have experienced 16 of the warmest years on record. Similarly, the period between 1983 and 2017 in the Northern Hemisphere has been recorded as the warmest in the last 1,400 years. Okay, here we can see a photo of this part of the world, and we can see in which part the temperatures are higher. For example, Spain, this part of Africa. Okay. So, in this regard, the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights has stated on numerous occasions that the adverse of climate change have negative on the right to life, on the right to health, on the right to an adequate housing and to an adequate food, the right to drinking water, among others. Okay, so let's talk about the causes of this environmental issue. Okay, so as you already know, guys, the climate change is the increase in emissions of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases that trap energy in our atmosphere, such as heat, causing this greenhouse gas effect. The fossil fuels, the coal, the oil, and the gas contribute the most to climate change, accounting for 75% of global greenhouse gas emissions. And these emissions are caused directly or indirectly by humans. Okay, so let's talk about the specific human activities that emit the most greenhouse gases. In the first one, we have the energy generation, because generating electricity and heat by burning these fossil fuels has a large amount of greenhouse gases. At the present, the most of the electricity generated, it is generated by burning coal and gas. So the burning of these elements produce the carbon dioxide and the nitrous oxide, which are greenhouse gases. Today, only a quarter of electricity is generated through renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar. We have the manufacture and industry, which also burn fossil fuels to generate, for example, cement, to generate energy to make cement, iron, steel, electronic devices, clothing, and other things. And also mining and construction emits greenhouse gases. Okay, so the machines that the manufacturers of all these things uses require coal and oil and gas to make all these things. Okay, also we have the cutting down of forests, the deforestation. The cutting down of forests to create, for example, new farms or new pastures for animals or for other reasons also lead to increased greenhouse gas emissions, because when forests are cut down, the carbon they have been storing is released. And also the forests are important because they can absorb carbon dioxide. So if we cutting down of these trees means less capacity for the land to remove these emissions. And in this regard, we have to remember that that 12 million hectares of forest are destroyed every year, and that deforestation and agriculture, along with other land uses, are responsible at least a quarter of total greenhouse gas emissions. We have also the use of transport. Okay, we all use trucks, boats, ships, planes, cars, whatever, and these all these transport need fossil fuels. So that is why, well, this transport is used by everyone. So that is why it is the main one of the main contribute to greenhouse gas emissions. And according to the United Nations, the majority of emission come from land vehicles, for example, cars or trucks. Also, it should be remembered that transport accounts for a quarter of global carbon dioxide emissions, and the trend is for carbon dioxide use to continue to increase. We have also the food production. As I mentioned before, the food production leads to deforestation and the use of land for agriculture and livestock feed. In addition, there is also excessive use of fertilizer and manure on crops that affects the food that we eat. In addition, also the packaging and the distribution of this food also worsen climate change. Okay, also we have the consumption in buildings. Currently, the buildings consume more than a half of total electricity because they continue to use fossil fuels for heating and cooling, resulting in high greenhouse gas emissions. Over the last few years, there has been an increased demand for heating and air conditioning, as well as more lighting and connected devices, which contributes to increase these energy-related carbon dioxide emissions. And In the last position, we have the daily consumption. So the energy that we use in our home, how we travel, how we use transport, what we eat, what we waste, all these things emit greenhouse gas emissions. So as a result, a large percentage of greenhouse gas emissions comes from our homes. So our lifestyles have a big impact on our planet. Okay, the effects of climate change, I think that they are clear, but climate change generates rising temperatures that translate into multiple consequences. Climate change is causing more droughts that increase the length and severity of wildfire season. In addition, droughts is leading to an increase in high-risk areas for wildfires and all these things. Also, these severe droughts, and the rising water temperatures cause water quality and quantity to decrease, and the climate change can also provoke an increase in rainfall in different areas of the world, resulting in floods. Europe is a territory that regularly suffer from floods, as we said in the last training. However, it is likely that with worsening climate change, the frequency of these floods will increase even more. Okay, so all these related problems are leading to biodiversity loss and also to the sea level rise in most part of the world. Okay. Okay, so in addition, climate change not only affects the environment, but also has impact on our health, because there will be less land to grow our crops, and consequently we will have less food. Our health or life are threatened, is threatened by these extreme weather events. So the climate change will have impact in all our lives, in our economy, and in our governance. Okay, here we can see a video talking about climate change. So let's see. Oh, I think that I have to share my sound. Give me a second, please. Okay, no, well.
Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale, our greatest threat in thousands of years, climate change. If we don't take action, the collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon. The world's people have spoken. Their message is clear. Time is running out.
The amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere now is 50% higher than it was in 1900. And not only are we piling in more and more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, but we are chopping down the forests of the earth at a great rate. And the forests themselves are the most efficient consumers of carbon dioxide that there are on Earth. We're going to destroy the ground because the soil of a rainforest isn't very good. We are actually tampering with the climate of the Earth and with the very atmosphere that we breathe. When we talk about the disappearance of the ozone layer, we don't know what will happen when the ozone layer goes. The world has become so fragile that we cannot subject the Earth to the tortures we can now inflict upon it. When we talk about the greenhouse effect, we're talking about something that affects the entire Earth. And these problems are life and death problems. They go to the root of the viability of the planet itself. If there's one thing that is biologically certain about the human species, is that it is a human species, one species.
If we don't stop the destruction of our natural world, nothing else will matter. Simply put, if we don't protect nature, we can't protect ourselves.
The only way we can solve a problem is by a human solution. Never can we sit back and wait for miracles to save us. Miracles don't happen. Sweat happens. Efforts happens. Thought happens.
Okay. Okay, guys, so now let's continue. Okay, here you can find this icon that if you click in this icon, you can calculate your carbon footprint. So when I share the presentation with you, if you want to calculate your carbon footprint, you can do it if you want. And I think it's a very interesting thing because you know how you contribute to climate change. Okay, so now we have the first Kahoot question. So as we always do with Kahoot, you have to enter kahoot.it and also enter the pin that I'm going to show you now. But give me 1 second, please. Okay. Okay. So this is the pin, guys. And let me know when you are ready. You can also scan this QR code if you want. Okay, Nick, Andreas, remember that you cannot close Kahoot because we have more questions. Please remember this, it is very important. Okay, let's wait for more people to join Kahoot and then we can start. We are already 9 people, now 10. If anyone has any problem, please let me know. Okay, how can I have access? Okay, so you only have to enter kahoot.it in your mobile phone or in your computer or laptop or whatever, and then enter the pin that you okay, Romina, that you see in my screen, and then you have to answer the question. It is very easy. Also, you can scan this QR code if you want. So let me know, Romina, if you can access to the Kahoot. Okay, one sec. Okay. Okay. We are already 12 people, now 11. Okay, let me know, Romina, when you are ready, please. And if you can access to the Kahoot. Okay, Romina, thank you. So let's start with the first question. Okay, guys. You all remember that you have to read the question in my screen and also the answers in my screen, okay? Okay, so we have 7 answers right. So well done, guys. Let's see who is the winner of this question. So Andreas in the first position. So congratulations. Okay, so guys, let's continue with the presentation. Okay. Wait a second. Okay, now. Well, now we are going to talk about the air pollution, which air pollution, both outdoor and indoor, is the presence of chemical, physical, or biological agents that alter the natural characteristics of the atmosphere. Okay, some information. The air pollution causes around 7 million deaths worldwide each year. And this is because, as the United Nations estimates, because almost the entire world population, the 99%, breathes polluted air that exceeds the air quality limit set by the World Health Organization. So this means that 9 of 10 people are exposed to this pollution. Also, it is worth remembering that in the developing countries, the women, children, and the elderly are most affected by this type of pollution. Also, in the low-income population are often exposed to high level of pollution, both indoor and outdoors, because they still use wood and paraffin or kerosene for cooking and heating. So the air pollution, it is a global problem that causes a major problems and consequence. So if we do not try to reduce it, the number of deaths caused by outdoor pollution will increase more than 50% by 2050. Okay, here you can see two icons. In these icons, we are going to open the link now, and we will see which countries has the worst air quality and which have the best. And in this icon, you can click when I share the presentation with you, and you can see the a world map with the real-time air quality index in all parts of the world, so you can see it if you want. So now we are going to see this. Okay, I have to change my screen, but first, guys, please, could you think who is the country which has the worst air quality is air quality air quality, the worst air quality, the country with the worst air quality? China, India, okay. India. Okay, thank you guys. So we are going to show these countries. India. Okay, so as we can see, Turkey, China, or again Turkey, some cities in Canadian are the countries with the worst air quality. And what do you think, guys, with the about the countries with the best air quality? The countries with the best air quality, maybe some here in Europe or in Africa or maybe in Asia. Okay, Finland, Sweden, Finland. Okay. So Norway, let's see. Okay, we have a lot of cities from Canada and one from Australia. Norway. So these are the countries with the best air quality. Okay, thank you guys for participate. Okay, so let's continue then. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the causes of this air pollution. They are clear also. This pollution comes from our industrial activity that emits substances into the atmosphere that are harmful to the planet, such as soot, ozone, or greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide or methane. For example, the petrol and diesel-powered transport, the mining and the agricultural industries produce these unhealthy chemicals. Also, landfills, fire, deforestation, industrial infrastructure, and also natural phenomena such as sandstorms and volcanic eruptions can contribute to this air pollution. Okay, so here you can see a photo of the Taj Mahal. I think it is very shocking because the air is awful. The air quality of the air is very, very bad. And I want to tell you guys that I live in the outskirts of Madrid. So when I take the highway to go to the center of Madrid, I always see the pollution from a distance. And it is very shocking because when you are inside the city, you don't realize that you are breathing this air pollution, you know. So I'm going to search a photo of this air pollution in Madrid because I think it is shocking. Okay, my pollution. So, well, give me a second. Okay, this is why I see what I see from a distance. So it is horrible, and you don't realize that you are breathing this kind of air, you know. But yeah, this is the reality. So guys, let's continue. Okay. Okay, let's talk about the effects. It is considered the major cause of preventable illness and deaths. And polluted air can lead to lung cancer, a stroke, heart disease, and also diabetes. Basically, it causes millions of deaths currently because, well, the pollution penetrates our lungs, our blood, our bodies, leading to all these deaths in the currently. Also, this air pollution affects our economy, our labor productivity, cost a lot of money, so a lot of problems. Well, okay, so we have here the second Kahoot question. Give me a second. I'm going to share the Kahoot tab. Okay. Here. Okay. Now. Okay. So let me know when you are ready, guys. And I'm gonna start this second question. Ready? Okay, Catherine. Okay, ready? Okay, so ready? Okay. Give me a second, guys. 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So let's start with the second question, guys. Okay. Okay, so we have 5 answers right. So well done, guys. Well done. Let's see who is winning. Now, Andreas in the first position and Joanna in the second. So congratulations. Let's come back to my slides. Okay. So now we are going to see this video where they talk about the air pollution in New Delhi in India, because they have a big problem with the air pollution in the city.
This is what hazardous air pollution looks like. The 20 million residents of New Delhi are breathing smog, some of the city's most famous sights now hidden In some areas, levels of pollution are nearly 40 times the maximum recommended by the World Health Organization.
I feel a shortage of oxygen, and the plants and trees are dying. There's no greenery, and the pollution level is very high.
The government's asking people to stay inside. Diesel cars and trucks are banned from entering the capital. Construction has been stopped and some factories closed. The government's announced primary schools will be shut from Saturday, following calls from parents and other groups.
When we wake up in the morning, we feel that we should not send our children to school. The conditions are so bad that when we go to our balcony, we feel difficulty in breathing.
New Delhi is the world's most polluted capital. One study found more than 17,000 deaths in 2019 were linked to air pollution. Every winter, it's blanketed in smog as cold, heavy air traps dust and pollution. Another major cause is crop burning by farmers in the neighboring states of Punjab and Haryana, a problem that's often politicized, with opposition parties seizing on who is to blame.
The issue of stubble burning can be resolved by assisting the farmers, not by cussing them. The central government and India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party should apologize to the farmers instead of blaming them. They should also apologize to the residents of Delhi.
The chief ministers of Punjab and Delhi say they're doing all they can to tackle pollution, but are calling on federal and state governments to work together. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India will aim to stop emitting greenhouse gases by 2070. That's 2 decades later than a goal adopted by the US and at least 10 years later than China. Back in the city, this smog is expected to last for days, and more emergency measures are planned. But without major changes, the millions of people who live there will have little choice but to adapt to what's fast becoming a new normal. Alexandra Byers.
Okay. Okay, guys, so now I think that we can take a break of about 15 minutes. So, guys, I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so bye. Okay, guys, so I'm back. We have to continue with the training. I hope you are enjoying this session. So now we are going to talk about the land degradation, okay? So the land degradation, it is defined as the deterioration of loss of the productive capacity of these soils for present and future. Land degradation is caused by multiple forces, including extreme weather conditions, such as droughts. It is also caused by human activities that pollute or degrade the land, the soil quality, and the land utility. So this human activity affects food production and livelihoods. For example, the desertification is a form of land degradation. Okay, so some relevant information. Due to the current livestock and agricultural production, land degradation has accelerated considerably. Similarly, the massive urbanization, the deforestation, the more frequent extreme weather events, all these things has worsened the state of the land. In addition, the soil degradation can be caused by the high concentration of contaminants on the surface, which damage soil biodiversity and endangers our health, especially through food. And yes, so in particular, we can say that livestock and agriculture often use fertilizers and pharmaceuticals that pollute our crops. Okay, this problem affects 1/3 of the Earth's land surface. In this regard, the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations, also known as FAO, states that soil contamination is a very serious threat, especially for Europe, Asia, and North Africa. Furthermore, the organization states that soil degradation already affects 1/3 of the planet, as I said before, and its recovery will be so slow that it will last 1,000 years to recover 1 centimeter of usable soil. So here we have a photo of the Egyptian desert, the Sahara Desert, and we can see an increase in cultivation. Okay. Okay, so the causes of this land degradation, it is the erosion, the loss of organic carbon, the extreme weather events such as droughts, as I said before, but also floods and all these kind of things. And also the human activities contribute to this land degradation. For example, the mining, the industry, the military activities, the waste and the wastewater management, the agriculture, the livestock farming, the urbanization, and a lot of things. And the effects of this problem, it is endanger our crops. So consequently, the food we eat and the water that we drink. So in this way, the land degradation affects directly to our health and forces people to migrate to other areas looking for food, for drinking water, and all these things, basically to survive. For example, the effects of this desertification can lead to malnutrition due to the food and water shortages, and it also causes an increase in waterborne and foodborne diseases due to the lack of hygiene and the lack of clean water. Okay, so let's see this video talking about this issue.
In many parts of the world, land is being overworked and misused, and it's increasingly being swallowed up by the effects of global warming. Heat waves and droughts are turning once fertile lands into deserts. That's the latest warning from scientists.
I think the takeaway message is that the way we use land matters because it impacts the climate, and that we also should use land as a solution.
The UN's Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says global warming and poor land use practices are having devastating effects. Entire communities have lost their crops, livestock, land, and livelihood.
Small-scale farmers who depend on rain to grow their crops are left guessing about whether the rains are going to come, whether there'll be enough. So it's really an urgent message to governments.
The report calls on governments to promote small-scale farming and to significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It also urges consumers to do their part by reducing meat consumption.
The way we produce food and what we eat contributes to the loss of natural ecosystems and declining biodiversity.
It's estimated that 1/3 of the food produced for human consumption, about 1.3 billion tons, goes to waste every year. The UN panel says limiting the amount of waste would free land for reforestation and crop growth. A warning to stop pushing land to its breaking point, and a call for governments to pay attention. Katia Lopez-Odoyan, Al Jazeera.
Okay. Okay, so let's continue with this issue, with the global biodiversity loss. Okay, the biodiversity is defined as the variety of life on Earth on all its forms. It comprises the number of species, their genetic variation, and the interaction of these life forms within complex ecosystems. So, the biodiversity is vital to humans because it provides us with food, with water, with medicine, with a stable climate, and basically it helps us with our economy growth. So as a result, more than half of the world GDP, the gross domestic product, depends on nature. But in recent years, plants and animals have been disappearing at an alarming rate. And that is why some researchers states that we are in the midst of the sixth extinction event on the planet history. So we have to bear in mind that in the previous extinctions, between 60% and 95% of all species were lost, and the ecosystems take a million years to recover. Okay, so the main causes of this biodiversity loss are changes in land use, such as deforestation, food production, massive urbanization, hunting or overfishing, obviously climate change and pollution, and also invasive toxic species. So the main cause of the biodiversity loss is human use of land, specifically for food production. In this regard, it is estimated that human activity has altered more than 67% of the entire land area. And for many plant and animal species, this means loss of their habitats and the possible extinction. So, in other words, climate change has transformed marine, terrestrial, freshwater, and all the ecosystems around the world. Okay, let's talk about the effects. Climate change has led to loss of many local species, an increase in disease, and the mass deaths of plants and animals. This is because high temperatures have caused many animals and plants to migrate to higher areas such as poles, and this is having a huge impact on our ecosystem. We must to bear in mind that with every degree increase in temperatures, the risk of species extinction increases. So, for example, we have here this picture from the United Nations, where they state that with an increase of 1.5 degrees, there will be 4% of mammals losing half their habitat. With an increase of 2 degrees, the 80%, and with an increase of 3 degrees, the 41% of mammals will lose half their habitats. Okay, also we have the problem with the coral reefs, with almost half of these coral reefs have been disappeared in the recent years, and the United Nations estimates that with an increase of 1.5 degrees, there will be 80 to 90% of the corals will disappear. And with an increase of 2 degrees, the 99% of coral reefs will vanish. But not only the biodiversity loss affects obviously the environment, but also affects human health because destroy essential elements to our survival, such as land, soil, or the water quantity and quality. So finally, if our biodiversity decreases, there will be an increase on CO2 emissions because the forest and the oceans will not be able to absorb the CO2 that contributes to this environmental crisis. Okay, here we can see the biodiversity decline by region. And we can see that Latin America and the Caribbean has the highest percentage with the 19% of biodiversity decline. And in Europe and in Central Asia, we are not that bad. So yeah, this is the reality. Okay, sorry. Okay. Wait. Give me a second because I don't know why can I, but okay now. So we have the third question, guys. So let's change to the Kahoot, and then let's start with this third question. Okay. Okay, so let me know when you are ready, please. And then we can start. Okay, ready? Okay. Okay, guys, so let's start with this third question. Okay, we have 3 answers right. So let's see who is winning. Andreas is still winning. And then we have Sotis. Okay, congratulations, guys. And now we are going to continue. Okay. Now we are going to see this video that I think it is very, very beautiful. I love this video, so I hope that you will enjoy it also. So let's play.
This spider monkey is an unwitting climate activist. Large fruit eaters such as this one spread the seeds of tropical hardwood trees in their dung, helping to build up forests which absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. And this is just one of perhaps millions of interactions that guarantee a healthy and functioning planet. Humans have spent hundreds of years documenting life on Earth, and we now have a catalogue of around 1.6 million species. However, there may be 7 or 8 million more that we don't yet know about. We have a good idea of the large animals, such as mammals and birds, but there are doubtless even some of these that we've missed. And the smaller you go, the more species there are left to find. As the human impact on the planet intensifies, scientists fear that many species could be lost before we even discover them. So why is it so important that we protect our planet's biodiversity? When we think of protecting wildlife, we tend to picture the superstars. But the organisms that do most of the hard work keeping our planet healthy are the unglamorous ones. This biodiversity provides us with the food we eat, from the microorganisms that enrich the soil where we grow our crops, to the pollinators who give us fruit and nuts, and the fish that are the main source of animal protein for around 1 billion people. Many of our medicines originate from plants and fungi, and many more may lie undiscovered in remote corners of the world. For instance, there's a fungus that grows on the fur of sloths that could help treat some forms of cancer. The natural world shelters and protects us too. Trees and shrubs protect our homes from flooding, and coral reefs and mangroves shield our coastlines from storm surges. And all that is not to mention the great spiritual and cultural value that nature holds for human beings the world over. But despite the overwhelming benefits of a healthy planet, many human actions are destroying biodiversity. Changes to habitats for grazing, mining and crop production, including the use of harmful fertilizers, have had a huge impact on land and sea. We hunt animals for meat and prize body parts. More than 300 mammal species risk being consumed to extinction. And then there's climate change. This affects the whole world, putting huge pressure on wildlife. In 2016 and 2017, half the corals in the Great Barrier Reef died as a result of the warming of the seas. So, what must we do now to slow down the crisis we are faced with? In addition to cutting our carbon emissions, we must find ways of using land and water that cause the least damage to the environment, leaving enough space for natural habitats to thrive. We must urgently protect the so-called biodiversity hotspots, but equally we should be rebuilding biodiversity wherever and however we can. Sometimes this is as simple as giving plants and animals the space they need to succeed, and sometimes they need hands-on management from humans. In 2020, With the help of reintroduction experts in the south of England, white-stalked chicks hatched for the first time in 600 years. Hands-on management was also critical to restoring the population of mountain gorillas in the Virunga National Park in Central Africa. This included using a proportion of the money raised through tourism to help human communities coexist with their animal neighbours. We must provide pathways for global development that work with rather than against nature, and we need to give the communities affected a seat at the table. The benefits provided by nature are indispensable for making human life both possible and worth living. We need all the riches of our living planet to help us live healthy, happy lives long into the future. Find out more about
Okay. So we have to continue. And the last issue that we are going to talk about, it is marine pollution, the ocean pollution, which is defined as the direct or indirect introduction into marine environment of substances or energy as a result of human activity, including underwater noise sources which cause or are likely to cause harmful effects. Okay, some information. The ocean make up 7% of the Earth's surface, and 97% of the planet's total water are home to thousands of species of animals, plants, bacteria, and other microorganisms. Marine pollution is 80% caused by human activities, and we have to bear in mind that the 80% of international trade is conducted by sea. So it is expected that it is calculated that 1 million plastic bottles are bought every minute worldwide, and 5 trillion single-use plastic bags are used every year. And that is why the European Commission states that more than 150 million tons of plastic have already accumulated in the oceans, adding up to 1.6 to 12.7 million tons each year. It is also estimated that by 2040, this figure could duplicate, so that there will be 40 kilos of plastic for every meter of coastline worldwide. Also, the oil spills are part of this pollution, but it not only comes from the ships or from the boats, but also from the factories that we have in the cities and poor contaminant and disposal practices. Okay, so the effects of this issue are devastating, as you can imagine, because it degrades habitats and cause a major loss of biodiversity. And these all these problems translate into a direct threat to marine animals and plants. So that is why they are endangered. So the rubbish or plastic that we dump in the ocean obviously do not disappear, but create islands made up of garbage or plastic. So the well-known is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, which is estimated to be around 1.6 million square kilometers and 80,000 tons of plastic. Maybe I could search some photo of this Great Pacific garbage and share with you because I think it is interesting to see. Okay. Yeah. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, here we can see all these plastic things, all this garbage. Yeah, it is horrible. Wow. Well, this is the reality of our oceans. So let's continue. Sorry, guys. Okay. So the chemical substances that we also dump in the oceans can cause this lethal process of eutrophication, which means that due to these substances, due to these contaminants that we dump in the oceans, there is an excess of nutrients that cause plants and algae to flourish, reducing the quality of the water and consuming the oxygen dissolved in the water, and this affects the entire ecosystem. Okay, here, sorry. Okay, sorry. Here we can see some two TikTok videos. In the first one, we can see the Guatemala coastline, this. Okay, then we have here people cleaning, people cleaning the Pacific Ocean. Okay. So now, guys, we have the last question in Kahoot. So let's go to Kahoot to do this last question. And then we will see who is the winner. So are you ready to this last question? Okay, so ready? Okay, ready? Okay, so let's start with this last question. Okay. Okay, we have 9 answers right. Right. Well done, guys. Well done. Okay, so in the third position we have cat. In the second we have Sotiris. And in the first one, we have Andreas. So congratulations to all of you guys, and thank you very much for participating in this session. So now we are going to talk about these questions that I said before. Okay. So give me a second. Okay. So these questions help you to do the research, but you can find more information that you consider it is interesting for the research. So the first question, it is, what is the problem? So you must choose a specific case of each environmental problem, as I said before, and explain a little bit about this problem. Then what detrimental effects it is having. You have to talk about environmental and human rights impacts. Has it been solved? If so, how has it been solved? And the last question are, if not solved, are there mitigation activities in place? If so, what are they? How effective are they? And the last question it is, how do you think its negative impacts could be solved or mitigated? So I'm going to start the presentation with you, so you will have all these guiding questions. So now, guys, I think that we are 17 people in the training. So maybe we can only do four groups. We can do the group of climate change, the air pollution, the biodiversity loss, and also the marine pollution, for example. So I'm going to make the rooms here in Zoom, and then could we choose our own group? Yes, you can choose your group. So let me a second, please. Okay. So okay. Now I'm going to open these rooms, and then you have to choose which environmental problem do you want to choose, and then you have to agree with your partner with specific problems do you want to do the research on. For example, if you choose climate change, you can choose the droughts in Somalia, as I said before. Okay, so if we are 17 people, I think that we can do groups or three groups of 4 people and one group of 3 people. So let's open this room. You could choose the group that you want. Okay. So remember that there are four groups, 3 with 4 people and 1 with 3. Okay. Oh no, I'm wrong. One group with 5 people, I think. I'm a little bit bad at maths. Okay, guys, you have to choose one group. Remember, we have three groups with four people and one group with 5. Okay. We already know the marine pollution with 5 people, so the other groups must be 4 people. Please, guys, choose one group. If you have any problems, please let me know it. So if anyone is having problems, please let me know. But you have to choose one group, please. Nieves, are you having problems? Or do you want to say anything? Hello? Okay, guys, please choose one group. Sofia, Nieves, Georgios, Dora, and Alvaro, please choose a group. Is it clear to all of you? Okay, so if anyone doesn't want to choose another group, we only have the climate change and the marine pollution. But if you want to do it, please do it now. Okay, so
Can you hear me?
yeah. Yeah,
Hello,
I can hear you.
nice to meet you. I'm Garzón. We left the breakout room because we had some questions. So I wanted to ask if we have a time limit to present our work for the next meeting we will have. How we will present it, if we have to make a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, in the next training, you will have to share with your partners, with your group, the answers to this question, okay? And then you have to choose one person to share your common answers to the rest of the groups. Do you understand?
Yes, so we will present within our group in the beginning, and then we present our common points.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
All right. And do we have to pick now the what we want to work on, or can we
Yeah,
just...
you have to agree with your partners in which specific case you want to do the research on, and then in this for training you will share your answers or your research.
And our answers, they don't have to be in a PowerPoint presentation from what I
No,
gather. We just research. Okay.
Yeah, it's not
Okay.
necessary.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay, you're welcome. Sotiris, where are you, Sotiris? Okay, you are in air pollution. If you want, you can change to climate change, and then discuss with the group which specific case that you are going to choose to do the research. So Sotiris, if you want, you can change to climate change, because if not, in the next training, you will not be able to share your answers with anyone. So, okay. Okay, guys, so have both groups chosen a specific case? Tell me. Please write
Hello.
in the
Hello. Oh, should I write it?
Okay, yeah. Please write in the chat your email And in this way, I can create these Slack groups, and you can talk through this channel. Okay, so okay, so I'm going to copy all these emails. Give me a second, please. Okay. Then, okay, Andreas. Okay, Hermione. Okay. Oh, well. Somoros. Okay. Joanna, thank you so much, guys. Climate change. Okay. Alexandros, marine pollution. Mr. Sotiri. Okay. Andrea. Okay. Criticals, marine pollution. Okay, so all you guys have writing your your Gmail account. Catherine, okay. Climate change. Okay. Climate change. Okay. So guys, thank you so much for participating in this session. Well, we will see you in the next week with this research. We will create a debate about all these things. So thank you so much, guys. I hope that you will have a good weekend and a good week and all these things. So thank you so much, guys, and see you in the next week. So bye. See you, Catherine. See you. Bye. Thank you so much. Bye. Gracias por todo. Gracias. Adiós, nos vemos. Ok.